How's everyone doing so far? Good? Right on. Okay, so we'll go rapid fire with this. So I call this the conversion clinic, and what I like to do is basically share with you the best practices that I've seen after doing thousands and thousands of real tests where we're involving real shoppers on Amazon. So typically it's two parts. So first part, I go through all the best practices, and then we actually can do some live split testing after the fact. We don't have much time to do that. However, you're still eligible if you want the $100 worth of free credits. Sign up there, use code TITAN, and you're good to go. You'll have $100 worth to implement this stuff later this evening, and we'll go through it. And I'll give you the results, and I'll show you the case studies as if we did it live as well too. So first, I have a selfish question. This is one of the products I'm working on. My wife and I disagree with which design to go for. So on the right side is A, so you can see where the logo's put on there, and then B, the logo's at the bottom. Show of hands, who would prefer A? Okay, that's a good number of people. Who would pick B? Geez, you guys are 50-50 pretty much. Okay, I'm gonna have to ask some more people, I guess. That doesn't help. So a little bit about me. So I'm the CEO, co-founder of Product Pinion. It's a shopper insight platform. I'm an Amazon seller myself. I've been selling on the platform for over 10 years. I've also done some fun stuff with Kickstarter, or been involved with 7 successful Kickstarter campaigns. By the way, the stuff that Mel talked about using HARO, Help a Reporter Out, works exceptionally well. I've been able to get a lot of the products, a lot of my content in top tier publications using HARO, so highly recommend that. By the way, Kristen is here. If you have any questions about Kickstarter and launching your Amazon brand, talk to her. She's done how many millions in dollars in sales on Kickstarter?
Over 6.
$6 million. Talk to Kristen about Kickstarter. So very quickly, we'll go through, these are the basics. There's 2 very important metrics when it comes to selling on Amazon, click-through rate and conversion rate. Click-through rate, percentage of people who view your listing and click. So the way to improve that are basically these variables. So basically your listing in the search results. So your title, your price, obviously, number of reviews, the ratings, the badges, delivery time, if it's Prime or not, all are a factor into click-through rate. Conversion rate is the percent of people who see your listing and buy, or the session percentage. So it also involves everything else that we just talked about, but also secondary images, that your bullets are A+, and most of all, your ability to convey relevance, trust, and value. So how do I do it? How do I improve both? Well, in my opinion, and Norm talked about this quite a bit too, is pattern interruption. The secret sauce to success, not just on Amazon, but for me, even just marketing in general, is interrupting patterns. And basically what that means is do stuff differently, that breaks the norm, that stands out, that gets attention. So why is it important? Well, it's been said, the person whose pattern is interrupted becomes highly influenceable. So then you've got them. They're gonna be making that buying decision because you stand out. Works everywhere. It's not just for products. It works for your listing. It works for emails. It works in everything that you might do. I also really like how Norm talked about doing some surprise and delight things with your listing. Do stuff that's unexpected. So how do we improve click-through rate with a $1 million main image? So big mistake that a lot of sellers do, and I've been guilty of this as well, you do a few variations, you ask some friends, and maybe some family, and you set it and forget it on you pick an image, you're good to go, right? Problem is, friends and family, they love you. They're not gonna critique your baby. Your baby's never ugly. Creativity wins though. So if you're not testing new creatives, you're leaving big money on the table. And I'll show you some of these examples. Some of them are super simple, but people don't think like this, right? So they might look very simple at first, but try it and you'll see just how impactful it can be. So one of the first ones, this one's like a no-brainer to me, but if you're in a product category that has, the example here I have is dog food. So when you look at it, most of the products are in a grid, right? And if you look at the grid, it's pretty much it's all the same, right? Every product has the same angle. It's perfectly upright like that. Then there's the grid. But you can make it different. You don't have to do this. Do that angled shot. And very quickly, when you put that angled shot in, you can see when you're glancing at this image, your eyes go to that corner, typically. And this can also be tested, and people can actually comment on it. So just very quickly, some of the stuff they say, the red color jumps out, but it also stands out because of the shape, unique shape, has a unique angle. So shoppers notice this. Shoppers actually notice it when it stands out, when it's different. You need to do this kind of stuff to get that click. This is another quick hack you can do. So what's typical when you're shopping, whether it's in person or even in a store? Like when you're in a store, it's like looking into the sun. There's thousands of products. There's every single kind of product you can imagine. It's like, what the heck do I pick? And if you look at the sun's really bright, right? Your eyes, you're blinded by it. But there are these little spots. They're called sunspots, and those stand out. That's what you want your product to be. So if you look at this image, for example, what typically stands out on a store shelf are the solid color products, right? This is true on Amazon. And a quick side story, I actually won Planogram Space when I used to work in pharma at Shoppers Drug Mart, it's a little shop here in Canada, by doing up these mock-ups with solid color packaging. Same thing on Amazon. In fact, it stands out even more because you're on a white background. So you can look at this. This is a search for apple vinegar gummies, super competitive niche. I don't recommend going into it. But the organic ones that are number one, a solid red. And I love how the cap's solid red too. It really catches the attention. So another quick example, something that we can do with our software is we can actually watch people shop. So you put in your URL of your listing, you can put in a competitor's, you can put in a search, an Amazon search result, and in return you get a screencast recording of people looking at that URL and answering questions out loud. So what was interesting with this one, for example, so this was a product that we were working with. Travis, he's actually, it's Travis's product, it used to be his product. He's a Titan member as well. And what was interesting was people were completely missing his line of products. So his brand is Hydrate. He's winning the sponsored brands up top. He's rating at number second. And in this video, we don't have time to play it, but basically the person completely ignores it because it's kind of on the white and talks about these two brands because the packaging is a little bit more interesting. Even though there's four, we've won 4 places in that shot, paid zero attention to it. So what did we do? Well, hey, let's make a new label. And we put in a new label. We tested it against shoppers, and the darker label came on top. This is just kind of like what the results look like, more or less. We also checked the logo. So we had one design of a logo and another design. They look very similar, but there was a huge difference. One of them had eyelashes on it. One of them didn't. But it makes a huge difference in terms of the result when you're asking, in this case, 50 people which one they prefer. So with this knowledge, we rebranded all of his packaging. Dark color stands out. I would have preferred even doing the bottle cap blue and that sort of thing. And turns out his click-through rate doubled. And he was doing big sales, tens of thousands of dollars per month. So it wasn't like it was a new product or anything like that. So another, if you're in the supplement space or if you have bottles, what's typical with packaging, right? So packages are closed, bottles are closed. This is typically what it looks like, right? All these packages, all these bottles, closed. Pattern interruption, do something different. What can be different with this one? Open the lid, show the lid there, right? Why not? And when you do this, it becomes like a focal point for people to look at you. So if you're on page 1, even if you're not in the top spot, people's eyes are being attracted to that one there. Now, you can take this one step further. So Stephen Pope, he gave me this idea. It's called the key phrase test, where you can actually put the main search term on the product. And this works super well because when someone's searching for something and then they see that something on your listing, which one do you think they're gonna click? So now if you're searching for omega-3 fish oil, that's the one you're gonna click, hopefully. And I've seen a lot of other brands do this as well. So like one of the main tips here, try this. So if you're looking for a silicone baking mat, click the one that says silicone baking mat. If you're looking for a premium drawer and shelf liner, click that one. What's this one? A dirt grabber, bath rug. So you get the idea here. This brand, I don't know, Gorilla Grip, man, they've got it down. They've got it down really well. So another one, this is Zuli's product. Zuli's here, and she sells an amazing shower cap, has a patent. If you need a shower cap, talk to Zuli.
Sustainable and natural deodorant.
And natural deodorants too. Yes, always pitching. So what's typical for the shower caps, a lot of times it's just there, you just show the product. But what makes it different is if you show the person on it. Now here's a ninja hack as well too. You Photoshop a white towel on her, and she's now isolated on white, and she's Amazon Terms of Service compliant to be a main image as well. And obviously it does a lot better when you're asking shoppers which one they would pick. For mosquito repellent bracelets, I have a lot of these. I love this. This is one of my products. So what's typical for mosquito repellent products, super colorful, right? Everything's all different colors, that sort of thing. The one I decided to do was just one color. And then I was also thinking maybe there's other ways to make, instead of just showing the bands, maybe there's other ways of showing how the product could work. So Xing out the mosquito, doing a thumbs up, that sort of thing. And you run a split test. You ask your shoppers, which one do you prefer, that sort of thing. Turns out, I thought for sure the X of the mosquito would win by far. But as a brand owner, you have the curse of knowledge. You don't know until you actually test, until you actually try it. Turns out thumbs up wins. And you can even see it here, that stands out. You see it how it's on someone's hand. Side note, that image isn't really Terms of Service compliant, but hey, it worked. And why it's important, that particular product did over $1 million in sales in 1 year, and a lot of it's attributed to the split testing of figuring out what would stand out. Okay, another one that you can do right away is split testing your headline. So what's typical for an Amazon headline? You gotta put the keywords in there, right? You gotta stuff them as much as you can, but the important ones very early on. And everyone does this. It's almost common knowledge now. Very transactional. So you have this one, simple taste, grill brush, and scraper, durable, effective. Yeah. Shopper looks at this and is like, holy geez, okay. It's kind of intense. But you can do something to make it different. And one of the ways you can make it different is the speed bump title test. So essentially what this is putting a non-typical word in your title. And it's something that you wouldn't typically see, but what happens is when people are scrolling on Amazon, there's so many products, they're on their phone, they're scrolling, they're skimming, you want a word to stand out for them to be like, oh wow, this is cool, all right, I'm gonna check that one out. So words can be everything from indestructible, hand-stitched, if it is, local, modern, luxury, and I would argue you almost want to make this your first word on the title. And I know it's a little controversial because obviously you're supposed to have your brand, you're supposed to have your bigger heavy hitter keywords up there, but again, something to test because doing this could stop the scroll and get you more clicks. So you can also use ChatGPT to do this. So hey, this is the title, and I'm asking ChatGPT to rewrite this Amazon title to be a little bit more exciting, and they actually did a great job, right? So, unleash the grilling beast with ultimate grill brush, replaceable Bristol head. Damn, ChatGPT, you're good, man. Okay, another thing that you can do along with this is actually shorten your title to under 100 characters. Now, I didn't even make this up. Amazon hates long titles. In their docs, they actually suggest this. This is copy and paste from their docs. Reducing your product title length under 100 characters to reduce noise and encourage more customers to visit your detail page. They're recommending this. So again, ChatGPT, can you reduce it under 100 characters? Sure. Now it's revitalize your grill with indestructible, washable brush scraper built to last. Cool. Needs some work, needs some more keywords in there, but you know what? It's looking better. And then of course, once you have these ideas, you have these AI generated ideas, you can test it with real people using Product Pinion. So we have something called Amazon Search Simulation, where you can actually design a test that looks like it's happening on Amazon. which is pretty crazy because contextually, you'll get better results. So this is just basically putting, you can import your ASIN, you hit the edit button, you change the title, you're good to go. This is what a shopper would see. So it looks very, I mean, we don't put the Amazon logo, but it looks very similar to Amazon when they're shopping. You can actually control any variable as well. So number of reviews, if you have a competitor that has like 50,000 reviews and you know, for example, people are probably gonna click on them versus your new product that doesn't have as many, you can manually go in there and edit their reviews down to something more appropriate, similar to yours. So it's a fair comparison. So you have full control over how you want to test. And the cool thing is, shoppers notice this. They say things like, oh, I really like the sound of Indestructible and Revitalize. And this shopper even knows how, you know, sellers spam a bit, right? So, you know, I like that the title is shorter without resorting to packing in as many keywords as possible for transparent search engine optimization purposes. Shoppers are smarter today. They know what we're doing. They know that we're packing these titles for keywords. And you want to stand out. You want to be different. You want to, you know, speak their language, so to speak. Just more, this shopper even said, hey, descriptions more concise and less clickbaity. So don't make your titles clickbaity. And even though it's odd to introduce a sentence in the product title, it's easier to process than the alternative title, which was a bunch of adjectives and descriptors. So that's a pattern interrupt. The title was odd, but that's a good thing. You got them to think. You got shoppers to actually look at the title and do something differently. Again, the words Indestructible and Revitalize catch my attention. So the shoppers are saying that this is what you should be doing. And then just as a result as well too, in terms of statistical significance, when you actually did this test, more people preferred the shorter title than a longer. But of course, you can validate this with Manage Your Experiments on Amazon. With Product Pinion, you do high tempo testing. You do a whole bunch of tests really quick. Then you figure out what's worth testing with Amazon, because Amazon's tool takes 4 weeks plus to get a result. So now you plug it in to Manage My Experiments, and then you'll get a definite result how it affects sales.